The air was crisp in the high mountains of Japan, where an ancient Zen monastery stood hidden between towering pines and rolling mist. Here, amidst the silence, lived Master Hoshin, a monk so wise and composed that even the wind seemed to whisper softly in his presence. One day, a young warrior named Ryota arrived at the monastery, his eyes burning with frustration. He was known far and wide for his strength, his skill in battle, and his relentless ambition. But despite all his victories, there was an emptiness inside him, a battle he could not win. Seeking answers, he approached Master Hoshin. "Old man," Ryota said, his voice edged with impatience, "I have trained with the greatest warriors, fought the fiercest battles, and pushed my body beyond its limits. Yet, I feel lost. My mind is restless. My heart is unsettled. Tell me, what is the secret to true power?" Master Hoshin smiled, his face as calm as a still pond. Without a word, he gestured for Ryota to follow him. They walked through the monastery's quiet gardens until they reached the edge of a lake. The surface of the water was perfectly still, reflecting the sky like a mirror. Hoshin bent down, picked up a small stone, and threw it into the lake. Instantly, the reflection shattered into ripples. "Look," the master said, pointing at the distorted water. Ryota watched as the once clear image of the sky was broken apart by waves. The more the ripples moved, the harder it became to see anything clearly. "Now," Hoshin whispered, "wait." Minutes passed. Slowly, the water calmed, and once again, the reflection became clear. Hoshin turned to Ryota. "Your mind is like this lake. When it is disturbed by anger, fear, or desire, you cannot see the truth. But when you allow stillness, clarity comes on its own." Ryota frowned. "So you are saying power comes from doing nothing?" The old master chuckled. "Not from doing nothing, from being still. True power is not in force but in presence. A warrior who fights with a restless mind fights blindly. But a warrior who moves with stillness sees everything clearly. Such a warrior cannot be defeated." Still unconvinced, Ryota crossed his arms. "Then prove it to me." Hoshin led him to the monastery courtyard, where an old tree stood tall and unmoving. He placed a hand on its thick trunk and said, "Try to push this tree down with all your strength." Ryota smirked. He had toppled men twice his size in battle. Surely a tree would be no different. He braced himself, dug his heels into the earth, and pushed with all his might. The tree didn't move. He pushed harder, his muscles straining, his breath growing heavy. But the tree remained still, unshaken. Finally, exhausted, Ryota stepped back. Master Hoshin smiled. "You see? The tree does not fight back. It simply stands firm. Yet, even with all your strength, you could not move it. True strength is not in aggression, it is in stillness." That night, Ryota sat alone by the lake, reflecting on the master's words. For years, he had trained his body but had never trained his mind. He had fought his battles with force but had never fought them with presence. And so, from that day forward, Ryota trained differently. He practiced stillness, awareness, and patience. Over time, his movements became sharper, his reactions quicker, and his mind clearer. He no longer fought out of anger or fear, he fought with a deep, unwavering calm. Years later, Ryota became a warrior unlike any other. His opponents feared him, not because he was the strongest, but because he could not be shaken. He had mastered the power of stillness. And so, the lesson of Master Hoshin lived on. When the mind is still, the path becomes clear. True strength lies not in movement, but in presence.